Hey everyone, it's Scott here from Remax, East Coast Elite Realty. Welcome to another episode of Hometown Proud. Today I'm being fondly greeted here at OG Ales in the rural community of Harvey. We've got something special for you today. Take a look at this. We're going to go ahead and sit down and talk with the owners of this very interesting off-grid brewery and see what it's all about. So we're inside OG Ales out here. I'm going to let the owners introduce themselves. Pass it over to you guys.
Thanks, Scott. Talia McMullen, co-owner of OG Ales here in Macadavic.
Where do I look? Where do you like? Okay. Tim Byrne, and I'm also co-owner. Talia, and she's also my lovely wife.
Coincidentally enough. Awesome. So set the stage for us here a little bit. Where exactly, for people that don't know, where do we find you? Where are we right here?
So we're located in the heart of Macadavic here in Harvey Community. We're 15 minutes off the Trans-Canada Highway out by King's Landing. It's a nice little rural drive on Route 635. You think you're in the middle of nowhere, but you keep driving, and then it opens up into our beautiful family farm property here, surrounded by about 200 acres of farmland. And we chose to build the brewery here because we just loved being out here, and it connects back to nature. We're sustainably run, and we brew everything using solar power. And that was important to us to maintain that vision for the business and evolve the farm into something that can carry on for generations to come. My father was a retired dairy farmer and had an operating dairy farm out here. And that wasn't going to be something that Tim and I were going to get back into, but we really felt that turning this place into something that maintained the land as to its best ability was crucial. And when an opportunity came up to purchase a local brewery, that was called Off-Grid Ales at the time. It was on Harvey Lake, which many people would know being around here. The history of the brand, the owners were going to put it up for sale, Randy and Denise Rowe, and knowing them since I was a kid and moving back out here, it was important to keep the brand local and keep it local run, and respect and value what Randy and Denise had worked so hard to create, a business that was truly unique and sustainable, and just using the power of the sun. So Tim and I called them up one day when we knew it was for sale and had a meeting. Then immediately wheels were in motion to transition into what is now an OG brewery out here in Macadavic.
So the OG thing was kind of a little bit of a rebranding thing, sort of, just to help you better identify with your own.
Yes, yeah. So we chose to rebrand it OG because at the time we were going to, evolve from bottles to cans, work on a brewery evolution out here in Macadavic. We're converting this place into its first ever brewery estate here in New Brunswick, which basically is taking a lot of what the wineries are doing, where they're having a guest experience, go out to a business and getting into the fields and seeing some of the raw ingredients being grown on the ground and having that destination vibe, coming out here and seeing the operations, seeing what's growing in the fields, being immersed into that whole estate vibe in a relaxed atmosphere, a little bit more of like that upper scale, modern amenities, but still staying true to, nature.
So if I remember correctly, because I've always been a fan of the product, even before you folks had it, but it was in bottles, if I remember correctly, and now I think do you do any bottles anymore, or is it all can production now?
We just do can production, and the switch from bottles to cans was determined partly by the pandemic. The bottles that we used were from Europe, but we would purchase them from a distributor in the Quebec region. And when the pandemic hit, if we can all remember the shipping lanes and all those things that happened during that time, the price went drastically up, and the supply chain was not dependable anymore. We also did the switch because customers, not all, but customers wanted an easier type of way to carry the product. Glass can break if you're out hunting or if you're out having a picnic. Cans are a lot safer, easier to recycle, easy to carry, those types of things. So the other reason for cans, that was the way that the industry was going, meaning that the retailers and the shelving spaces were all designed for the height of cans and not bottles themselves. So if you were in the bottle category, you wouldn't necessarily be front and center for your customer. You would probably have to look for the product at your local store. So couple of different reasons for the switch, but we're certainly happy with the switch to cans from bottles.
I think they look better personally. I love the looks of them.
Thank you.
Nice design work on them.
It was a fun
great
project.
The artwork itself on the cans was done by a local girl, originally from Harvey, I believe. I can't remember.
Erin Goodine.
Erin Goodine did all the artwork.
Yeah, hand sketch. And when we approached, she worked for an agency in Fredericton at the time, and I wanted the look and feel to stay true to the original bottles, like telling that story. For example, the Campfire Red had that owl, and it's an iconic figure on the bottle. So putting an owl back on meant a lot. So we chose to, use a different kind of owl, but incorporate the domes on it. And each of the cans and the artwork tells a story about the OG experience out here that we're, developing into. The Sunny Day has a picture of the solar panels from the brewery. The Smooth Sailing Pale Ale has a picture of our dog, Jib. And he's named Jib because it's a part of a sail. Tim's from Newfoundland, so long may your big jib draw is kind of an omen in Newfoundland, and it may you forever wind in your sail. So we seem to have like a good fit for Jib to be on the Smooth Sailing can. And the high tower features the windmills, which are now becoming, more prevalent here in New Brunswick and across the Maritimes. And the what's the other can that
the porter, the snowshoeing in the winter time, because we are situated on Talia's homeland. There's about how many acres really? I'd have to go back, but we're on a big acreage that we transform into outdoor activities. So to complement what Talia said, the whole brewing estate vibe is to make sure that everything is focused around family and nature, getting outside and enjoying what's around you. So in the wintertime, snowshoeing, sliding, we are connected to the NB Trail system. That will be coming out next year. The signs for that will be up next year, so be good to go for that season. And we're also looking at putting in some barley this year as as test crop. We probably won't harvest the barley because we don't have the equipment to do that. But we are planning also to put in hops, and the hops would not be to sell or to do anything like that, but would be to perform a harvest type brew at the end of the year when we can harvest those ourselves, put it into a brew, and it also gives the customers an added experience at where they can go out, see the hops, smell them, touch them, just to create more of an educational experience around. It's not just about craft beer or alcohol or that industry. It's about the education. There's a lot of science behind the brewing process. There's a lot about the yeast cell and how it does its job and how you can make that cell very happy and produce very good beer. So those types of things we want to incorporate into customers' experience when they come here.
Interesting. So we know the craft brewery thing has been, seems to be on the rise and has been, but the obvious thing that sets you guys apart is the OG. So are you guys the only ones around that are off grid? It's very unique. It seems like a very unique appeal in comparison with everybody else. So
yeah.
When the brewery was started by previous owners, Randy and Denise, at that time, they were probably leading, especially the craft beer industry, with solar power. I can't say for certain that they were the only one at the time that were using solar. There may have been other companies that had supplement with solar, but the thing that makes the business so unique is that it's 100% solar power. There are breweries out there now that certainly have solar panels, and that's great. That's exactly what we wanted to see the industry go to, not only our industry, but anywhere that we can harness the power from the sun. I think it's a great thing to do. What was the other part about being off grid? So I'm glad you can edit this. Or solar. Oh, and then the other thing about tying that in was that what makes us still unique in a sense is that this sustainability part, where we were originally a fully operational dairy farm. All of that infrastructure still exists. So when we brew here, all of our spent grain will go down to the farm, and we'll use that to either feed the pigs or fertilize the fields, or feed chickens, that type of process. So we started with the solar, and we're evolving into more areas of sustainability with the entire operation that we're doing.
Nice. So that's obviously the solar panels that we see set up outside there. That's the entire...
Our very expensive lawn ornaments.
Yeah, it is. It is very impressive when you drive up. You can't miss it.
You can't miss it, no.
Okay, so real quickly, I think you probably already said this, but how many different beers are you making here?
We make a lot of different ones, and what's out in market today is about 6 to 8 varieties that you'll see across the province at liquor stores. But the boys are constantly innovating unique brews, coming up with some pilot batches, which is like a smaller, batch size just to test it out, which we often have rotating taps here in the tap room to, share with anyone who's visiting of, what the guys are kind of coming up with new recipes. And if anything is, a consumer favorite, we'll explore, presenting that to NB Liquor to, see if it would become part of a listing at some point. So we always encourage people to keep coming back and testing out whatever new brew we have on our test pilot tap system.
And right now, currently, we have a British pale ale that we've tried.
Mm-hmm.
Has some beautiful nutty notes, caramel notes to it. We also have a hazy West Coast / New England IPA combination hazy, which is very nice. And currently brewing in the pilot system right now would be a Kolsch, German Kolsch, made with a specific German yeast and some different grains that are not normally in our 5 to 6 standard beers that we sell all the time. So being a brewer, that's the fun part. It's being able to try new things and see how it's going to turn out and trying to predict what the taste will be. Brewing every day is fun, but certainly the pilot system and playing around with different recipes is where I would love to spend all my time.
Yeah, sounds very interesting. What's the production capacity? How much can you actually produce? How much do you produce?
We can produce, if our production was maxed out, we could produce roughly about 700 barrels of beer, which is about 83,000 liters in a year. It's what our little brewery can do here. It's not a small number. It's not the biggest number for the craft breweries that are out there, but that would be a stellar year if we could produce 83,000 liters of beer.
And you're growing, obviously, with
We designed the building and the brew house in a way that we can increase capacity, because tanks don't go wide, they go tall when it comes with getting bigger vessels to brew beer. So all of our ceiling height here is quite high that can accommodate that. And, that would be a great thing if we can get into a position where we're replacing one of our big tanks because, of an opportunity to grow distribution, at a province or even within province. But with that would also come with growing our team. And that's one thing that is so important to us. Like we want to stay here. We want to create jobs in our little community. We've got one full-time employee who's been with us with Brandy and Denise as well since almost day one. And, that it means a lot to us that we can provide an opportunity and give, locals a reason to not have to look outside of our community for a job. There is an opportunity within. And that makes us really proud to offer that.
Absolutely. So this OG Ales is this may lead to, who knows, a part B or a series B with this, because this is just part of what you got going on here. So the OG Ales, explain to us the other portion of this with the domes and everything else that you offer.
Yeah. So when we evolved into OG, the brand OG, it was taking it to a new level of an experience, a destination experience in our community. It's a brewery destination. It's a taproom experience. It's a sustainable brewery estate vibe that we're getting into, but also an accommodations side of things. We have luxury domes down on Macadavic Lake, and that's a reason for people to come and stay. We're not just a come, have a drink, and go home. We want to have a destination spot for an overnight or a weekend or a week, because we are surrounded by other local businesses. So if people are coming to visit us, we want to be able to provide an additional service where you can go and visit other local shops. So stay and then explore around. So relax, recharge at the domes, but also explore the area. And all of that encompasses the OG experience, and what we're trying to achieve out here is just a destination, a new, unique ecotourism destination.
Little hidden gem right here in the little Harvey Rural Community. So, absolutely. What do you see in the future for your business? Where do you hope to be if you could fast forward a few years from now? Want to continue growing?
I think Tim and I are both on the same page when we say we definitely want to grow. We definitely want to stay here. We want to continue to evolve this place into our dream brewery estate, be a wedding destination. We've had a couple weddings booked out here so far. We've got the space. It's nice and private and remote, which is a draw for a lot of, people that are coming in from the city. And same with down at the lake. It's, to enhance the guest experience, new offerings, not grow with more accommodations. That's not our vision. We like to stay very modest and, allow those guests to have like a more exclusive experience than just, overpopulate it. But yeah, it's just the overall enhanced visitation experience.
So Tim, you mentioned, I think you're not native to here. Did I understand you're from Newfoundland?
I'm from Newfoundland. Tally and I met in 2013. Both of us worked at Ganon, the chocolate factory, and we worked there close to 10 years and decided that when the business came up for sale, it was the right time for us to remove ourselves from the corporate world and to start something that we've always dreamed of out here. I grew up in a small community in Botwood, Newfoundland, which is around central Newfoundland. So being out here, it may be a little smaller than what I'm used to, but it feels like home because of the land, the connection with the people that are around here, the willingness to help out the friends and neighbors. It's a very similar vibe. It's a great area out here. And we took the plunge together and purchased that business, and we moved to Macadavic in 2014 in the what we call the family homestead. So we live directly across from the brewery itself. So I mean, that really makes for a dream job, brewing beer and being able to walk to work and walk home at the end of the day. I can't really beat that with too many other things. So
pretty convenient. So we'll consider you a Harvey boy now. So you've been here long enough. And Talia, your roots are here. You
very deeply rooted here. Yeah, 5th generation now on the McMullen homestead property.
That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So Harvey's pretty special to you both, for sure.
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty special business. I hope that some people watching this actually get a chance to come out and enjoy this, because this is a hidden little gem. It's beautiful. You guys have done a fantastic job in here. And I know getting a little off track here, but that table that's sitting in front of us, that's been catching my eye ever since I've been here. That's something you obviously had custom made, I assume, maybe?
A lot of pieces in the tap room here are custom keepsake pieces that we wanted to incorporate and showcase the talents of other, young entrepreneurs and craftsmen in our province. This table was made by a good friend of ours, and he just does an exceptional job. Full Grain Furniture is is his little business in Quispamsis. He's done the crib boards, obviously the coasters, our tap handles, our flight boards. He's created a lot of unique items that we just cherish here, and a lot of people get to enjoy during their visits. And peeking behind you there is our owl that we had custom carved by Ryan Little, Chainsaw Carvings, and we love his work, and he's so talented. So, of course, that was the first piece we got custom made by him. And then he also presented us with the hot bud behind us for our 1-year anniversary last summer. And we look forward to incorporating a lot more pieces from him.
That is cool. Ryan, if you're watching this, we might be coming to track you down for hometown proud sometime. That just gives me a good idea here. That's fantastic.
Good interview, Ryan.
Yeah.
He's a extremely nice guy, and like Talia said, very, very talented with chainsaw carvings.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing I'd want to undertake. So what do you want to tell people? If you just real short and sweet, you're here. What do you want to say to people that are watching, that are unfamiliar with OG?
If you haven't come out to take a look at the new tap room in our community, all is welcome. We're open every single weekend. Our hours are posted on our Facebook and our website. You'll be greeted as soon as you get here by 2 of our lovely pups. Scotty is one of them, and Jib, of course, our border collie. He will probably greet you at your car door with a ball or a stick and escort you to the entrance. So they're our welcome committee, and they just love seeing all the new faces out here, and we love welcoming people out here that first time have been here. You see it from the road, it just looks like a garage, but we did that purposely because we want it to become a little mystery. You get up the driveway, you get out, then you come into the tap room, and then you're just kind of immersed into like this beautiful modern facility that just looks out into our field and our property here, and you feel a little disconnected in a good way.
Hours of operation. Is this tap room open? I'm assuming there's some hours here that people can drop by and have a sample?
Absolutely. So we'll soon be open on Friday nights. Come the summertime, that's usually when we open Friday nights, but Saturdays from 2 to 8, and then Sundays from 1 to 5, excuse me. Sunday 1 to 5. Yeah.
Well, I want to close by thanking you both for sitting down, taking time with me to do this, and I can see that we definitely will do a follow-up here at some time of Part B, because I think we really need to get down and showcase the other part of this little treasure down there with the domes and whatnot. It would seem like a good fit. So thanks for sharing your story with us, and wish you nothing but the best of success moving forward. And if anybody that has not got a chance to get out here, come on out to OG Ales and see what this place is all about. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.